Hello, everybody. So, sorry if you can't see me very well, it's nighttime. But this is a topic or something that's been on my mind. And I really don't like to play like competitive at all. Like I hate competitive. I don't like to play online. Like whether it's Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh or just any games online because like the way people play, like especially when it comes to competitive, like they play like winning is life or death, and I don't understand why people play like that. Like they will do anything and everything just to like stop you from winning, and then when you put them in a situation that they can't win in, or that it's nearly impossible, they throw a fit. And there's people like that play online and they get mad and they throw their controller and break their TV just because they lost one game. It's like, why do they act like that? But anyways, the main topic today is about, like, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list. That's just something I don't understand. Like, why is there even a ban list? Like, what's the purpose of it? Like, how can you say it's to balance the game when it doesn't balance the game? When, um, for example, you have cards like, I don't know if I'm saying this right, Bonjour or something like that. It's a synchro monster with 3,000 attack. I think it has 2,500 defense. And basically, it negates a card every turn, and it can destroy a card every turn, both. So a lot of people, they play this, they bring this monster out really fast because they'll use the Sword Soul. I don't remember what the Sword Soul is, but they'll discard a Sword Soul from their hand, special summon this level 6 Sword Soul, and then it lets them special summon this level 4 token, and then they synchro summon using that. Like everybody does that, and they bring out this monster, and it negates one card, and it destroys a card. So I don't understand why that card's not banned, why it's not limited. Oh, but it's because that can really just shut down your opponent's game. But it's so bad or powerful if I draw 2 cards with my Pot of Greed. Yet my opponent can sit there and negate and destroy an effect every turn, both. He can negate the first card I activate, and then he can destroy the second card that I put on the field every turn. But it's so bad if I draw 2 cards with my Pot of Greed. Or, what's the other card that does that? Destiny Destroyer Phoenix. So you're telling me that my opponent can negate a card on my field every turn, send Phoenix to the graveyard, and then put it back on the field, and negate another card. So, if I only have, for example, 2 or 3 cards in my hand, let's just say I have 1 spell card, activate it, Destiny Destroyer's on the field, activates effect, it negates my spell card. So, my spell card's gone. And I just have 1 monster in my hand now. Next turn, Destiny Destroyer comes back. I survive being attacked, whatever. I survive the turn. My turn again. I draw. I have another spell card. I play it. Destiny Destroyer activates. Goes to the graveyard. So basically, I'm in a situation where I can't do nothing because it's just going to negate every card that I play. So, that's legal, apparently, but it's so bad if I draw 2 cards with my Pot of Greed. So, or there's cards that like, what was it? There's an XYZ monster called you activate a certain field card, and then you can put 4 or 5 Numeron cards on the field, and then you can do a whole bunch of things with that. You can XYZ, you can overlay all those Numeron cards, or you can attack, and then they all get doubled, or something like that. I don't know, but, I mean, apparently it's okay to, like, for your opponent to put 4 or 5 cards on the field. And even if you activate an effect like Dark Hole or Regeki and blow off their entire field, they'll put 4 or 5, they'll activate all these different effects from their graveyards in hand, just to put 4 or 5, 6 monsters back on the field next turn. That's legal. And okay. But it's so bad if I draw 2 cards with my Pot of Greed. Or you got, especially like when since the pendulum mechanic was introduced, basically people who are playing pendulums, like, there's no point in using Raigeki or Dark Hole because they're just going to put the cards back on the field the next turn anyways. So, again, I just don't understand the ban list. How can you say the ban list is to balance the game when you have all these cards in the game that are just, like, ridiculously overpowered in comparison to drawing 2 cards with my Pot of Greed? There's another card that just really irritates me, is the XYZ monster number 100, because what people will do is they'll go and activate its effect and boost its attack points all the way up to over 8,000, and then they'll just try to attack you and take out all your life points in one thing. And they'll just do that on their first turn. And first of all, again, it's okay to boost a monster up to over 8,000 on one turn, and your opponent can't really do nothing to respond to it. They just gotta hope that they have some type of negate in their hand. If not, it's automatically game over. It's okay for people to use cards like that. But oh, it's so bad if I draw 2 cards with my Pot of Greed. So that's the first issue with that. The second issue I have with that is, first of all, if you're gonna play like that, that's what I call playing solitaire. So basically, if you're just gonna take me out on your first turn, you need to question, why do you even play Yu-Gi-Oh? Because technically, you're not even dueling. A duel is basically a competition where, you know, we are going back and forward and playing cards in reaction to each other's cards. We are taking turns. But if you're just going to take me out on your first turn and that's it, then why do you play Yu-Gi-Oh? Because technically you're not even dueling. You're not even playing the game for its intended purpose. You're just playing solitaire. And if you want to play solitaire, go buy a pack of regular playing cards and go play in the corner. Why do you play Yu-Gi-Oh? It's not funny or cool, or it doesn't make you a skilled player. Actually, I don't even know why they even use that term. Oh, skilled Yu-Gi-Oh player. Because technically, nobody that plays Yu-Gi-Oh nowadays is skilled. Because just the gimmicks and the way that a lot of the cards work nowadays, it's just trash. It's just garbage. A 5-year-old can play Yu-Gi-Oh with all the way that all these cards work nowadays. I mean, that is considered skill, playing skillfully, when you put number 100 on the field and just boost it all the way up to 10,000 attack and just attack me and take me out on your first turn, and I have nothing in my hand to negate anything, and I can't put anything on the field because people will do it on their first turn. Or not even that, they'll do that other thing. Well, they'll summon the number 100, boost its attack all the way up to 1,000. They'll activate a certain trap card to send it to the graveyard and increase their life points by that 10,000. And then there's another XYZ monster that they summon that deals damage equal to the amount that you just gained. So they'll put this other, I don't remember what it's called, but they'll put this other XYZ monster on the field, and then it'll just take away 10,000 points of your, it'll just take away all your points at once, without you even being able to do something. So that is classified as playing skillfully? Powering up a monster to 10,000, sending it to the graveyard, and then activating another monster effect that deals damage equal to the amount you just gained? And just taking the opponent out and just taking away 10,000 points away from them before they even get to do or perform their first turn. Just taking all 8,000 of their points away. Just like that. That's playing skillfully? That's not skill. That's something a 5-year-old can do. So I don't know why. There's just a lot of things that have like, maybe not want to play Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. I don't know. Maybe I'll start collecting Magic the Gathering cards, but like Basically, Yu-Gi-Oh has become garbage. The way people play is garbage. It's not even dueling anymore, because we're not taking turns and responding to each other's cards. We're just we're just setting up. We're just putting a bunch of cards in the field, and basically your opponent can't do nothing. So that's what I call playing solitaire. Either when you do that, when you just take them out in your first turn, or when you put on your first turn, you put 4, 5, 6 cards in the field, and basically on your very first turn, you put 4, 5, 6 cards in the field that basically negate anything that I'm going to play. So when it's my turn, when it's my first turn, if I'm going second and I draw my first card, I draw my card from my deck. There's really no point in me putting any cards in the field, because anything I put is just going to be negated. So how is that dueling when you go and you set up a board that just negates anything that I'm going to do or even try to do? Like, what's the point of even playing you? Why do you even play? Like, what's the point of that if you're not even going to allow your opponent to take a turn? Like, that's not dueling. That's playing solitaire. So, I mean, that's just as bad as, people playing Exodia deck and just drawing Exodia on their playing all these cards to draw more cards and drawing their entire deck on their first turn, and you don't even get to play nothing. Like, that's just as bad as that. Even though that's a very rare occasion, it's just the same thing. So I really just don't understand, like, what's the purpose of the ban list? They should just make every card legal, because why is it so bad for me to draw 2 cards with my Pot of Greed? But it's not bad for them people to basically put you in a situation to where you can't do nothing on your first turn. Anything you do is going to get negated or destroyed. Like, what's the purpose of that? Like, why do you people even play Yu-Gi-Oh if y'all are going to play like that? Like, I don't understand. But anyways, that's just my thoughts, my opinions. Like, I don't understand why all these other cards are not banned, but it's so bad for me to use my Pot of Greed. So that I would like an explanation on that. I would like an explanation why, they can't just legalize every card, like make every card legal for tournament play. Because it doesn't make any sense. Like, there's never going to be a way to perfectly balance the game when you allow things like Destiny Destroyer, number 100, it's just not going to happen. Or even Access Code Talker. Like, what the fuck is that? Seriously. You get to put a monster on the field, the Code Talker, increase its life points by one of your link monsters in the graveyard, and then you can banish your entire graveyard of link monsters and destroy every card your opponent has on the field. All in one turn. That's completely fair that they do that. They banish all the link monsters in the graveyard, destroy every card you have on the field. You can't do nothing about it, unless you happen to have a skill drain on the field. And you can't do nothing about that. And they can just destroy your entire field and just attack you for a game. But it's so bad if I draw 2 cards with my Pot of Greed. So, I mean, I just don't understand this. I really don't. This is why they say Yu-Gi-Oh is a child's card game, because it is. There is no skill to Yu-Gi-Oh. 5-year-olds can play the way people play nowadays. There's no thought process or thinking or strategy anymore like there was when it first started. But anyways, that's just my opinion, my thoughts. Please explain to me, why is it so bad to use my Pot of Greed? Please tell me why.